Today's headlines. Illegal firecrackers remain the top cause of New Year-related injuries. Opposition lawmakers file a petition to stop the extension of martial law in Mindanao. The Bureau of Immigration tightens screening of passengers from the Middle East to prevent human trafficking. The Festival of Lights brightens the Christmas celebration in Makati. Good day, I'm Pia Roses Morato. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. The Department of Health said illegal firecrackers remain to be the top cause of injuries every New Year. Dr. Irma Asuncion, Epidemiology Bureau Director, reported that some 30 of the 42 people so far injured by firecrackers were handling illegal fireworks, particularly the piccolo. The piccolo, a small stick filled with gunpowder and lit like a match, caused 69 firecracker-related injuries last year. It ignites prematurely at times and is sometimes ingested by children. 13 new cases have been reported, bringing to 42 the total number of injured since surveillance began last December 21. More than half, or 24, of the injuries occurred in the National Capital Region, with Manila having the most number of cases at 16. 31 of the injuries involved the hands, 3 of which required the amputation of fingers. There's still no case of firework ingestion and stray bullet injury. The Police Regional Office 3 has designated 619 areas in Central Luzon as firecracker zones in an effort to prevent firecracker-related injuries during this holiday season. PRO3 Regional Director Chief Superintendent Amador Corpus said majority of these firecracker zones are located in Bulacan, where most firecrackers are produced and sold. President Rodrigo Duterte earlier issued Executive Order No. 28, which provides for the regulation and control of the use of firecrackers and other pyrotechnic devices. Under the EO, community fireworks displays may only be held in areas designated by the local government. Only pyrotechnic devices which utilize visuals such as colored lights, flames, smoke, sparks, and flashes are allowed within the surroundings of their homes. Violators will be fined 20,000 to 30,000 pesos or may be imprisoned for 1 year to 6 years. Opposition lawmakers filed a petition questioning the extension of martial law in Mindanao. They insist that the extension is unnecessary, hurried, and prone to abuse. Here's a report.
The Magnificent Seven opposition bloc filed a petition before the Supreme Court assailing the constitutionality of the full-year extension of martial law in Mindanao. The petitioners, led by Albay Representative Edsel Lagman, asked the High Court to issue a temporary restraining order or a writ of preliminary injunction to stop the implementation of the challenged re-extension. On December 13, a total of 240 members of Congress voted to approve to extend martial law in Mindanao, while only 27 voted against it. The approved extension will take effect beginning January 1, 2018 until December 31, 2018. In a 29-page petition, the lawmakers said there is no actual rebellion in Mindanao to justify the re-extension of martial rule. They argue that the Constitution requires an actual state of rebellion, not just mere threats for such proclamation of martial rule. The petitioners said President Rodrigo Duterte's request for martial law extension was approved baselessly and with inordinate haste. They said the period of 1 year defies the intent of the Constitution, considering that the provision only specifies a period of 60 days. The congressional grant of re-extension has no factual anchorage and is afflicted by grave abuse of discretion. The petitioners said the president has the power to call out the military to prevent and subdue lawlessness by remnants of terrorist groups without extending the martial law and the suspension of the writ of habeas corpus. They likewise asked the Supreme Court to accord judicial notice to the joint approval by both houses of the Congress of the re-extension, because until now a copy of the enrolled joint resolution is not available. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Philippine Cervantes.
The National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council said the number of families affected by Typhoon Vinta has reached 143,000. The affected residents come from 1,140 barangays in Mimaropa, Regions 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, ARMM, and Caraga. The NDRRMC also placed a death toll at 164 while 176 were reported missing. NDRRMC Executive Director Ricardo Halad said that over 23,000 families are housed in 200 evacuation centers while nearly 6,000 are being assisted outside evacuation tents. Halad added that about 2,600 houses were damaged in Mindoro, Mimaropa, Regions 9, 10, 11, and ARMM. Infrastructure damage at Region 9 and 10 was placed at 167 million pesos. Meanwhile, 4 areas including Tambulig, Zamboanga del Sur, Bacolod, Lanao del Norte, and Labason, Zamboanga del Norte were declared under a state of calamity. Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio hit back at the comment of Senator Antonio Trillanes on the resignation of Vice Mayor Paulo Duterte. Trillanes alleged that Paulo resigned from his position to avoid investigation from the Office of the Ombudsman. Duterte Carpio said the investigation will not stop even if an official left his post. She said that her brother already thought of resigning after his name was dragged into the shabu smuggling issue in the Bureau of Customs. The plan was revived after his squabble with his daughter Isabel. The mayor said her brother wanted to protect his children and family from unfounded accusations. For now, Duterte Carpio said her brother will be on leave up to December 31 or when President Duterte approves the vice mayor's resignation. The mayor will ask the Commission on Elections to appoint the next vice mayor among the 3 number 1 councilors in the 3 respective districts. City Council Majority Floor Leader Bernard Alag is the current acting vice mayor. Davao City Vice Mayor Paulo Duterte and his lawyer brother-in-law Mans Carpio filed a civil case against Senator Antonio Trillanes IV before a local court in Davao City Wednesday, December 27. The case stemmed from Trillanes' accusation involving the two into the alleged 6.4 billion shabu smuggling issue in the Bureau of Customs. The two filed the case at the Office of the Clerk of Court on December 27 and was electronically raffled to Regional Trial Court or RTC Branch 15 under the sala of Judge Mario Duaves. RTC Branch 15 Clerk of Court lawyer Kaiser Kate Narciso, however, begged off to show the complaint, saying only the involved parties are allowed to access the documents. Narciso said that she cannot further give information about the case filed by the Vice Mayor and Carpio against Trillanes. It may be recalled that Vice Mayor Duterte and Carpio were dragged into the alleged smuggling and corruption at the BOC. Both even attended the hearing at the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee on September 7 to air their side. The Vice Mayor, who has tendered his resignation as Vice Mayor on Monday, is on leave until President Rodrigo Duterte will accept his resignation. Still to come, President Duterte appoints former Customs Chief Nicanor Faeldon as Deputy Administrator of the Office of Civil Defense. The Bureau of Immigration tightens screening of passengers from the Middle East to prevent human trafficking. These and more when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Right now, nandito kayo sa Marilac Hills, or also known as National Training School for Girls, na kung saan ito lang yung nag-iisang center para sa mga babaeng, batang babaeng nagkaroon ng engkwentro sa batas. So in short, they are called mga CICL, Children in Conflict with the Law. Kanya nga lang mga babae dito. Pero sa ngayon, nung nag-boom yung case natin sa pagtulong sa trafficking, dumami yung mga kaso ng trafficking, dito na rin dinala. So ang case ngayon dito na mga bata ay 75% trafficking cases. Sexually exploited girls. Ito yung mga na-rescue sa mga bars, na-rescue sa mga areas na kung saan ay involved yung mga traffickers. So bultuhan kung mag-refer dito yung ang PNP at saka yung NBI. And then another case dito, maliban sa CICL saka trafficking cases, ay yung mga sexually abuse. Karamihan sa kanila ay ito yung mga incestuous case. Inabuso ng sarili nilang magulang, tatay, kapatid, pinsan. So yun yung mga nandito. Lahat ng cases dito ay tinatawag natin na court related. Meron silang mga kaso. Nagkakaso sila, nagkaengkwentro sa batas, yung iba naman ay naging biktima ng karahasan like rape, ganun. So yun po yung mga, pero dito purely babae. Ang mga kliyente namin dito 17 and below. Though meron tayo ditong mga umabot na ng 18, 19, pero habang dinidinig yung kaso sa korte, nandito sila, so hindi natin pwedeng palabasin.
The Department of Trade and Industry allocated a large part of its budget to help micro, small, and medium enterprises in the country as part of the administration's priorities. Here's a report.
Bulk of the budget of the Department of Trade and Industry next year is allocated to its projects and programs to help micro, small, and medium enterprises in the country. DTI Secretary Ramon Lopez said the agency is getting 5.8 billion pesos next year under the 2018 General Appropriations Act signed into law by President Rodrigo Duterte last week. The budget for MSME initiatives alone reached about 2 billion pesos. Some 1 billion pesos was allocated for Shared Service Facility Program, which provides equipment to MSMEs to produce quality products and make the sector more competitive in both domestic and international markets. The budget was augmented in the Senate with additional 800 million pesos for the SSF program. With a higher budget for SSF program, the DTI chief said the agency can roll out at least 200 shared service facilities, adding to the current 2,000 facilities nationwide. DTI's microfinance program, Pondo sa Pagbabago at Pag-asenso, under its financing arm Small Business Corporation, also got 1 billion pesos fund in 2018. Lopez said the department has disbursed close to 1 billion pesos for this year for microfund borrowers. The P3 was launched January 2017 to give better financial access to MSMEs, particularly in the 30 poorest provinces in the country, and for Filipinos to avoid loan sharks like 5-6 lending scheme. The government can lend 5,000 pesos up to 100,000 pesos at 2.5% monthly interest rate. President Duterte has identified MSMEs as priority sector of his administration. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Chris Mundo.
President Rodrigo Duterte has appointed former Customs Chief Nicanor Faildon as Deputy Administrator 3 of the Office of Civil Defense. Faildon is detained at the Senate after refusing to testify on the probe of the 6.4 billion peso shabu shipment from China that slipped past the agency's grasp. The president accepted Faildon's resignation in August after he was linked to the controversy. In a letter dated December 22, Faildon was informed that he was appointed as Deputy Administrator to the OCD. Faildon, who is expected to work while even in detention, will replace Rodolfo Demosthenes Santillan. OCD Administrator Ricardo Halad welcomed Faildon's appointment as the office's second Deputy Administrator. Halad said he needed a second Deputy Administrator which was vacant before his appointment. He said the OCD needs to strengthen its executive offices in order to provide direction and supervision to its services and regional offices. Immigration personnel have been ordered to strictly screen foreign passengers, especially those from the Middle East who are holders of European passports. This came after authorities intercepted another attempt by an international trafficking syndicate at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport, Terminal 1. Immigration Port Operations Division Chief Mark Redmariñas said the 3 Iranians, a woman and her 2 children, were intercepted upon their arrival aboard the Thai Airways flight from Bangkok on December 23. The Iranians aroused the suspicion of PI officers after they presented their Belgian passports for inspection. The passengers could not explain their travel itinerary or their purpose in coming to the Philippines. The BI anti-fraud section certified that their passports were fraudulent after conducting an examination of the travel documents. They were immediately excluded and booked on the first available flight to their port of origin. Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency Director General Aaron Aquino expressed surprise over the acquittal of TV and movie actor Mark Anthony Fernandez, who was charged with marijuana possession in Pampanga. Aquino was former PNP Regional Director in Central Luzon when Fernandez was apprehended. Police in Angeles, Pampanga arrested Fernandez in October last year for allegedly transporting 1 kilo of marijuana with an estimated street value of 15,000 pesos. Judge Ireneo Pangilinan Jr. of the Angeles City Regional Trial Court Branch 58 said he had to release Fernandez due to procedural breaches committed by policemen in handling the evidence against the actor. Aquino, however, said that he would still respect the rule of law and that he would support the PNP in whatever legal action it would undertake against Fernandez. The actor is the son of actress and politician Alma Moreno and the late actor Rudy Fernandez. 500 houses are set to be distributed to residents affected by the conflict in Marawi City. The government expects to finish over 1,000 housing units next year as more residents return to the city. Here's a report.
President Rodrigo Duterte led the turnover of 500 transitional shelters to internally displaced persons in Marawi City. This as reconstruction of the city begins following an almost 5-month encounter between government forces and Islamic State-inspired terror groups. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said Marawi residents will be receiving a total of 800 housing units this week, with the additional 300 built by state-run gaming firm Pagcor in Matunga, Llano del Norte. The 500 shelters to be awarded by Duterte are located in Barangay Sagunsongan, at least 3.5 kilometers away from Ground Zero. Each unit comes with its own bathroom and kitchen and has electricity and water supply. Task Force Bangon Marawi Chairman Eduardo Del Rosario said the government targets to finish more than 1,100 shelters in Sagunsongan by end of February next year. Del Rosario, who is also chairman to the Housing and Urban Development Coordinating Council, said that of the 500, the first 250 shelters will be occupied before New Year and the rest by January 7 next year. Marawi City Mayor Majul Gandamara said around 19,000 persons had already been allowed to return to Marawi. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
Up next, rebel returnees receive livelihood aid from the provincial government of Palawan. The Festival of Lights brightens the Christmas celebration in Makati. These and more when the PNA Newsroom returns.
Meron tayo dito as young as 6 years old. Ito yung mga biktima ng online pornography, yung sa internet. Meron tayong mga ganong kabata na kung saan na-rescue sila sa bandang Mindanao, Visayas, ganon. Saka dito rin sa Metro Manila. Usually they are referred by NBI at saka ng ating DOJ Yakat, tsaka ng PNP Women and Children Help Desk. So karamihan sa kanila yun. Dito dinadala. Sa ngayon nga, nasa 188 kami. Kumbaga, ang mga programa dito ay kumbaga embedded na siya. Meron kaming psychological service kung saan may mga psychologist tayo na nagkakandak ng counseling, behavioral therapy, mga ganon. At the same time yung mga social workers natin under the social service, sila naman yung nagkakandak ng mga group work sessions, group dynamics, para sa ganun ay unti-unti maka-recover yung mga bata sa mga trauma na kanilang mga naranasan So, meron din, yung mga house parent natin under the home life naman, ito yung mga tinatawag natin na caregivers, mga nanay nila sa dorm. Tapos, meron din kaming doktor, nurses, and then meron din kaming school dito. May sariling eskwelahan dito sa loob from grades 1 to 10. Dahil 50 years na ang Marilac, magiging 50 years old na ang center na to sa March 2018. So, naturally, marami na tayong mga bata na natulungan at na mainstream sa society, na nabalik sa kanilang mga magulang. Pero yung mga successful na mga cases natin, yung iba talaga bumabalik na para to give back, ika nga, tumutulong pa rin. Ang pagtulong is nasa puso. Kami rin naman, kung sa sweldo lang ang pag-uusapan, hindi kami tatagal dito. Pero dahil nandun sa puso yung commitment to help, paano naman sila kung hindi natin tutulungan? So, hindi ka gagastos, pero yun ay maganda sa kalooban pag tayo nakakatulong.
Retired Associate Justice Justo P. Torres Jr. died on Tuesday, December 26 at the age of 90. A memorial service was held for Torres on Thursday at the SC Session Hall in Manila. Torres was appointed by former President Fidel Ramos to the Supreme Court on March 1996. He retired on November 1997 after reaching the retirement age of 70. Prior to his appointment to the SC, Torres served as an Associate Justice of the Court of Appeals. He also served as Philippine Judicial Academy Vice Chancellor after retiring as Supreme Court Magistrate. 10 members of the New People's Army who surrendered in Palawan received 25,000 pesos each in livelihood assistance under the provincial government's local social integration program. Palawan Governor Jose Alvarez and Armed Forces of the Philippines Western Command awarded the assistance to the surrenderers in a simple ceremony at the governor's office. Most of the former rebels surrendered last September following the conduct of focused civil and military operations, particularly in southern Palawan. Westcom spokesperson Captain Cherry Tindog said a total of 26 more rebel returnees are being processed by the Westcom and the Provincial Social Welfare and Development Office to receive livelihood assistance. The Office of Civil Defense is preparing the Rapid Damage Assessment and Needs Analysis, or RDANA, to map out the recovery of Biliran Province from the effects of Tropical Storm Urduha. RDANA is a disaster response tool that identifies the magnitude of a disaster and determines immediate relief and response requirements. National Economic Development Authority Regional Director Bonifacio Uy said that the RDANA was just completed in 8 Biliran towns. Uy said the next step is to consolidate the programs, projects, and recommendations as well as potential risks to implementation. The Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council is tasked to come up with a recovery and rehabilitation plan which will be patterned after Super Typhoon Yolanda and Typhoon Nona. Urduha left 42 dead and 14 others missing due to floods and landslides. Over 22,000 families were also displaced. Makati City dazzles residents this Christmas once again with its annual Festival of Lights. This year's attraction showcases Filipino-themed lights and music that is sure to delight spectators. Here's our report.
One of the most popular Christmas attractions in Metro Manila is the annual Festival of Lights show at Ayala Triangle Gardens in Makati City. The event has become a Christmas tradition for Makati residents, visitors, shoppers, and employees of the financial district. Even Filipinos who are living abroad and are spending Christmas in the Philippines watch the festival as a way to bond with their families and friends. The sight of colorful lights dancing to the beat of blaring but pleasing music proves to be a joyful Yuletide experience to spectators, young and old alike. This year's Festival of Lights features around 1.6 million LED lights in colors of red, green, blue, silver, and gold, moving to 3 musical medleys of different beats. The lights and sound shows were choreographed by award-winning director Voltaire De Jesus and Luder Gumia. The attraction extends to Makati's major streets, particularly Ayala Avenue, Paseo de Rojas, and Makati Avenue, where over 1 million Christmas lights showcase patterns of native wooden fabrics such as the Inabel and Bordado of Luzon, Banig Tikog of Visayas, and Tiboli Ukil and Yakan of Mindanao. The festival, which runs every 30 minutes from 6 to 10 p.m., goes on from November 9 this year to January 7, 2018. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Let's take another look at today's headlines. Illegal firecrackers remain the top cause of New Year-related injuries. Opposition lawmakers file a petition to stop the extension of martial law in Mindanao. The Bureau of Immigration tightens screening of passengers from the Middle East to prevent human trafficking. The Festival of Lights brightens the Christmas celebration in Makati. Just a few more days left before we usher in the new year. For more stories, please log on to www.pna.gov.ph or visit the PNA page on Facebook and Twitter. And that's your daily dose of the hottest news and the latest information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm Pia Rosas Morato. Good day.